our Martial Life podcast. Professor Don Stoner, myself, Sifu Mike Mather, and our special guest, Master RIgan Machado, where we're very much honored for him to be a part of our first podcast. I'm just going to ask him a couple questions to just kind of kick off our podcast. It's going to be a lot shorter than normal, but
no, please.
When did you first start martial arts, and was your first art you started Jiu Jitsu?
Yes, I started very early. My relationship with my cousins, my uncle Carlos Grace, I started around 5, 6 years old.
Nice.
Yeah.
And then your life training in martial arts, where has that taken you? How has that been a positive impact in your life? Not just from the self-defense and the art itself, but what has it done for you outside of the martial side of things?
I think I remember early age, I have a conversation with Carlos Grace, the founder of Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. Yeah, I remember he said something to me who I was very young and caught my attention. And I never forgot what he said. He said, like, whatever do on the mat, you try use these to apply outside the mat on your life. It basically like for you be success on the mat, the consistency, the persistence, the day by day, everything accomplished by one day, the next day, and that consistency, that persistence, what help you to accomplish whatever you want on the mat. And I try use the same thing in life, like when I have an idea, I focus on the idea, believe in the idea, and every day I wake up, I think about to accomplish in persistence to make the idea come reality.
Awesome. That's great.
We can always cut this.
Yeah.
Now it's on.
Oh, was it on?
So RIgan, again, it's awesome to always see you.
Pleasure.
Been a long jiu-jitsu journey for myself, and so when it comes to kind of you and your brother's martial arts journey, you know, it's been such a long journey. What are some of the highlight moments for you, whether it's just in jiu-jitsu, focus on jiu-jitsu, whether it's a tournament or some championship that kind of sticks out to you, whether it's a fight, it's kind of a turning point for you?
I think I felt very lucky. The luck I felt is the people surround me as a trainer. I have opportunity to train with Ross Gracie, Carson Gracie, Crawling, and my cousin Helium, Hickson. But my main coach was a guy named Carlos Gracie Jr. I was his first black belt in Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. But for me was the coaches in the environment I have a big camp. At the time was Ross Grace was the main coach. And later when he passed away, Carlos Grace Jr. became the leader of this group. The people I have every day on the mat was the battle, the training, the friendship, the support of everybody to push you to be success outside the mat. I think that's what I believe was my accomplishment, to be luck to be in this kind of environment to help me to succeed some of the fights. I think in the competition, for me, I believe is the easy part. I think the difficult part is the day-by-day training. I have opportunity to have a good group who push me to do around 35 to 40 spars a day. I have 3 sections a day. I spar in the morning, I spar in the middle of the day, and spar late at night. What these do you just give you a mindset. A mindset when your mind is connected to your body and the techniques is tight and the game is tight and the competition is the easy part. You're ready to go to war. I think when you ready to go to this process of training and consistency and have a big camp behind your good coaches, I think that's what I felt very lucky to have growing up.
Wow. Yeah, and I know you talk a lot about the math, right? It's the numbers on the map. It's not rocket science. If you train 3 times a day, the math adds up. If you compete every weekend, you start stacking those numbers, and that's how you become a champion. So I think that really helps a lot of young people that are thinking about competing now. Speaking of which, real quick, what do you see with the evolution of jiu-jitsu? Do you see a lot of new moves coming out, new techniques, or are these kind of techniques that you have seen in the past that have evolved?
Uh, I think jiu-jitsu is an organism. It's something like nobody can control. It's something who got to a position. It's so powerful. You don't know which direction going. Yeah, I think the new generations of competitors is the one who help to guide this force to a direction. Like example, the new generation, the game, the rules, always adjust to the growth of the grappling, the growth of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Yeah, I think it is hard to know the past, the new is always keep growing. I think it's almost like you plant a seed, you see the grow, you see this come a beautiful tree, all these different fruits, these different ideas, these different people add to the style is fantastic. Because growing up, I have opportunity to have horse grades who kind of guide us to try different styles. Like I have opportunity to train judo, and he motivates us do judo because the fighting jiu-jitsu start standing. You learn how to throw. You're already on the top. On the top, you have opportunity to do more points. Because my first strategy in Brazilian jiu-jitsu, I didn't have much standing. I pulled for the guard. My level, like blue belt to purple belt, I pull for the guard. Yeah, I have a very good guard. I spend 80% of my training on the guard to not let him pass in triangles and sweeps. And that's how I use my strategy to win a lot of the fights. But later, when they start doing judo, when I come around brown belt, black belt, I come good judo player. And basically, I start learning how to throw people on top. And little by little, with the influence of wrestling, you know what I mean, and Greco-Roma, Sambo, I start like to be more on the top than be on the bottom. And that's why my game, I felt the groove because the knowledge of wrestling, judo, Sambo helped to get to the top on the start the fight. And depending the kind of strategy, sometimes you're going to find a guy who's 10 times better than you in standing. I pull for the guard because my guard is going to be what's going to break his game. But when I feel advantage to have a better standing, I try start standing. I don't want to pull the guy to my guard. I want to know I'm going to throw you, I'm going to pass, I'm going to beat you.
Right.
It based like this kind of true strategy. You dance according to the music. And that's what I like about fighting. You have a guy like same like example, big guy, a small guy. When I get a small guy, I don't want to move too much. I want to blanket him. I want to neutralize him to cut his movements. Like I fight somebody twice stronger than me, I want to move to because I know the movement is going to have more chance to break his game. I think you have to understand the strategies you have to create to beat your opponent. And one of the things I think is very important is not the quantity, but I always train 2 or 3 techniques max for the fight. And I try apply that on the sparring every day to be sure the technique's tight. When they feel the technique super tight, that's what I apply right away when I go to competition. I don't waste 1 second. Say, "Oh, that's my game. Whatever happened between is bonus. You know what I mean? In case they, over here's the neck, I choke him,
Right.
it's bonus. But that's the techniques I have on my game who gonna work well. And these basically being helped all my life. Every fight I have, I always train like that, and I like it.
Love it.
Thank you.
That's exactly right.
Sifu, anything else? So we also should touch on Keegan's, blow for blow just before we kind of sign off.
Absolutely.
Great intro.
Not only is he a living legend in the jiu-jitsu world, but he's also been one of the main coaches, trainers, and whatnot for most of the celebrities in Hollywood today. And he also produced Blow for Blow, a movie, and its premiere is this month, April 28th.
April 28th.
Yeah, and
so he wrote it, he produced it,
and directed.
Wrote it, produced it, and directed. Animal.
Thank you, sir.
And anyways, I just want to say myself, spending 47 years of training with living legends, and now I'm honored I get to train with another one.
No, it's a pleasure.
I'm completely blessed that Professor Don has introduced me to you so I can be a part of your family.
It's a pleasure.
So
yeah,
anyway,
Jiu-Jitsu is a big family.
No, it's definitely that.
Thank you, sir.
And
so another thing, were there some principles that you used as a martial artist to help you in the movie business, like never give up attitude, consistency?
No, it's like example. I have a line I don't cross. The line I don't cross is like integrity. It's like honor. I use like some codes like that for my lifestyle, which I learned on the mat. Basically, my movie, I don't do cursing. I don't do sex scenes. I don't do nudity. I do things like who create a message. This movie, Blow for Blow, the reason I wrote and create because it's about bully. Bully is something, a big problem we have today. Even cyber bully come even worse because the social media gave so much power to people attack people on the internet. Is the bully is beyond I ever seen before. You know what I mean? I think you have to create a balance because you do so many movies in different levels, different things. I want to be the good guy. My movie is going to be a movies who means something, have a message. And this movie is about the relationship to a father and a son. It's like the son get bullied. This guy was a gangster, was a biker gangster, and he quit everything because he want to raise his family. Become a chef. He don't want to be a gangster anymore because all his life now is about his family.
Nice.
But what happened? His son got beat up by another guy who was his ex-partner in a gang world, but he's still a gangster. And he said, we have to fix that the old way, or another way the gangster on me is going to come back. Yeah. And basically, the way this movie is like you touch my son, I'm ready for die for him.
Nice.
Because one the thing I'm never going to let is to break the spirit of a young man. And that's the message. The message is like, example, what's the father do to protect the family? What the father do to keep the integrity and the honor and the good things in his son. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Somebody from outside come and break the spirit or abuse your son or do something like that. You know what I mean? Some fathers, I'm ready to die for my son.
Yes.
You see the case, the Velasquez, Cain Velasquez.
Yeah.
Boy, it broke my heart because he is the nicest guy, the most warrior, unique champion UFC ever had.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And he going to jail, but he will protect his family. Yeah, I think what he did was so brave at the same time, but you know what I mean? He showed like sometimes the law protect everybody. You know what I mean? But sometimes, like, I wish we come back sometime to the gladiator time.
Yeah.
And you do something to my son, I cut your head off. Everybody is fine because you protect his son. But you can't do that today. But I wish sometimes you go back to the
that's where the
500 years or 1,000 years ago. We say, hey, I cut your head off. You know what I mean?
That's where the law is broken. It's broken in that aspect because, you know, we got too many people that have rights that shouldn't necessarily have rights, you know, in that aspect. But I stand 100% behind Kane. Like what he did, I'd probably done worse. If somebody touched my kid, you know, because my daughter's, I mean, you know, she's my princess.
His life is, I hope everything go well in life. The society is something very tough.
It is.
To grow your kids today in this new society sometimes can be tough.
Yes.
But I think the job of the father and the parents is to protect the kids, you know what I mean, and train these kids for life. And that's what I like about this movie because it's a very simple, very sweet movie, entertainment, fun. I have this amazing guy, Paulo Costa from the UFC.
Yeah, Borrachinha.
Yeah, Borrachinha on the film. He flew from Brazil. One of the nicest guy I ever met in my life. He's today is not just a friend, he's a brother. I have the presence of, I wrote one of the character. What's funny because I have one story here about my brother, my younger brother, John. What I love about John, people don't know he's a great actor. He went to acting school. He have these acting movies he did. But I think
your brother or
my
your brother's
younger
son?
brother, no, my brother, John. And he have now this look of a farmer. He let the beard grow. He looks super gangster look.
Yeah.
And his big mustache. I said, man, I want you to write this character. And in the beginning, I start write the character, think about him. His son is another one who's a great actor. And I wanted him to play. I saw one video he did online where he played this character, this comedian kid, Goofy, called Billy. He have this YouTube channel and this Billy character he did. I love it. It's about this goof kid who.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Have you seen?
Yeah, John Jr. The younger one.
John Jr.
Yeah.
And it sounded like I came to him and said, "Oh, I wanted to create a character for you, but not too much goofy. I want a kind of glass, this on the middle, you know what I mean? But not, create a character called Billy on the film. And I wrote the character. My brother like, let's do next month. Let's do this. Let's do that. I told him, brother, you have 24 hours to give me the answer. And he, oh man, you crazy. I don't want to do these low budget movies anymore. I'm here, tax, I don't, I said, you have 24 hours. We're going to have to get a different actor. And he said, half an hour later, he comes, okay, I do it. You know what I mean? But how long I have to be there? He complains, this and that. And I said, brother, you have to be here at least for 10 days. Yeah. And I pay you for. I pay for every day you're here. Yeah. Oh, okay, let me see. Okay, I go. You know what I mean? He complained the whole time. It sounded like he arrived on the set, he saw 100 people on the set, all this movie crew.
You weren't playing around.
And didn't play around. He's like, always call me director. Director, what you like me to do, director? One day I pulled him on the corner and I said, brother, what the hell is going on? You can call me Higa, you're my brother. And no, because I have to be the example for everybody, because I'm your brother. I call you director. I tell everybody, I respect your job, for everybody respect you too. And he and his son never call me Higa. And because that everybody said, director, what you want me to do? Director, what you want me to do? And because it's very important to, when you become the leader of the set or the film, you have to put a different hat. I said, I'm not RIgan Machado. Now I'm the director and the guy who put this movie in order. And to put a movie, I already have everything so organized. I just want to be sure I get the scenes right. Yes. And basically, like, it was fantastic because every time I have a scene right, I was, oh man, I got the scenes. When they finished the day, I was so happy because I got all the scenes I need.
Right.
Because the fight is against time. I only have 8 days to shoot the whole film. I didn't have money for another day. I couldn't afford 100 people every day. We feed these people, we get this, we do that. I said, I have 8 days to shoot. I have to do 20 pages a day. And I did, man. I was the tough. I slept 1 hour a day or 2 hours max. And 4 in the morning I was up on the set, the first one to arrive, because I said, man, it's like a fight. You have to go, you the captain. There's no problems. You have to figure it out. You have so many, every day you have 100 problems. And you said, oh, no, how can I fix this? You know what I mean?
Yes.
And you have to have plan A, plan B, plan C. Sometimes you gotta go with the flow. You know what I mean? Sometimes the move can be made by 3 ways: writing, filming, and editing. All these 3 can be a complete different movie. Right on the set, after he rehearsed the fight scenes, I said, no, let's change. I wanna change like this, like that. Don't not looking good. And imagine that.
That's awesome.
And you have to do it. Sometimes the actors, oh, I want to add this line. I said, I have to tell all that. Whatever you want to change, go to the script supervisor and tell them before start filming. Because during the film is no change. Because all the scenes we shot is based on this dialogue. Yeah. In case you change in the middle of the set, you're going to break the flow. Right. I have to all the time. No, I want to. My brother was the one who tried change all the time, and I have sometimes. Okay, go ahead, change. I put 2 cameras on him. Yeah. Go. My brother, he's a brother. What you gonna do? He's gonna argue with your brother. You know what I mean? But I have. Sometimes some guys not actors, you know what I mean? And I tell them, you play yourself. Basically, I have to put the cameras on him. Sometimes I have to let them improvise, not too much, but a little bit.
Yes.
Because some of these guys have problems even to memorize lines.
Right.
Because they never memorize lines, they shaking. Right. I have a guy, I say, oh, when I get the camera on your face, screaming. And they go, yeah, I'm going to scream. It sounds like I get the camera on his face. It's like this. Yeah. Yeah, stop. I said, you're supposed to be screaming. I don't know what happened. I froze. Right. I said, I'm going to do it again. You're just screaming. You say like you're going to kill him. You sound like I come, the camera right in his face. Motherfucker, I'm going to fuck you up. I said, whoa. This movie is no cursing. You know what I mean? Yeah, another problem I have, like doing this scene like this, you want the person who was on the ground did like this to the camera. I said, no.
You can't look at the camera.
Stop again. You can't look at the camera because,
right.
You know what I mean?
So you're kind of training new actors at the same time.
No, it's not that. You have a team right over there. Yeah. I rehearse a little bit, want to rehearse quick. Yeah. For get the marks on the floor. Yeah. For the camera, and you have structure the lighting. Now, I rent a truck. I have enough lights to fill a soccer field, because lights and camera lengths for me is the key, and the sound is the key to do a film. Yeah. You can't be cheap with the quality. Basically, I have the best camera I couldn't get. I got these 35 red cameras, you know what I mean, who is approved by Netflix, approved by them. I said, I wanted the best camera I can get. I got this lens called anamorphous lens, who for me is the best lens because anamorphous lens, most of the time you shoot like this, anamorphous lens open more.
Oh.
And everything behind the person is kind of blurred a little bit. Oh, on the camera, the details you get from the people in the front, oh, it's fantastic. Yeah, so like, let's do it. Yeah, I got the location, everything high ceiling. I didn't want a low ceiling. Because low ceiling, you don't sell because location for me is like a new character.
Right.
You know what I mean? When you film, you want to make bigger. That's why I have a lot of drones, film the cars, big warehouse, high ceiling, big mansions. On the park, you can film people walk on the park. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah. I have a car shop. I have all these super nice cars. You know what I mean? It was super well put together. You know what I mean? And I bought a lot of shots because the problem in LA, I discovered that by film. I have all these drones want to film, but you can't.
Mm.
Why? Because you go inside the Hollywood sign, right?
Mm.
You have to pay hundreds of $1,000s to film the Hollywood sign.
Really?
It's the permits.
Oh, wow.
You can't.
Yeah.
Because it's a brand from the city, Capitol Records or some of these major things. They say, you discover they have this library, high def quality things. You can buy, you become a member, you pay $300, you have 1,000 videos you can collect and use for your film.
Oh.
Now it costs me nothing. I can use on the film because they film all the drones. They have all the license. Whatever footage you buy for you put on the film, you can use.
Oh,
I didn't know that. When they discovered that was a lottery ticket because I have so many major footage of locations who made the movie look bigger than life. You know what I mean?
Right.
I love
Because when you do a film, it's how big the move look. Like even like example, Paulo Costa. I said, Paulo Costa, you have to take your shirt off.
Yeah.
Because you have so much muscles. You know what I mean? Yeah, I have a question here.
Yes, brother.
These guys come to the premiere. What I wanted them to do, I wanted them to bring the cell phone. I wanted them to film everything. We are gonna put these two guys to walk on the red carpet,
There you go.
right next to the celebrities. And after this, we have a big after party in Beverly Hills. Yeah, I wanted these guys to try one thing: cachaça.
Cachaça, what's that?
That's a Brazilian drink.
Oh,
Because,
definitely.
You drink cachaça and come back home alive, that means it's good. You know what I mean?
Oh, no, we're doing it.
I don't know if I trust myself with cachaça, but
Cachaça is same like tequila,
Oh, yeah.
but it's made by sugarcane. But they have this drink called caipirinha.
caipirinha.
Yeah, yeah.
But what's crazy about the caipirinha, they do different. The traditional one is lime, sugar, ice, smash, and they put the cachaça. But you don't feel the alcohol. You drink this super sweet juice.
Oh.
But they do now passion fruit, strawberry, some other flavor. But when you drink, oh, this juice tastes delicious. After 2 or 3, knock you out like you drunk.
So I need to watch out for cachaça.
Cachaça, we're limited to one.
Yeah.
All right,
Thanks so
guys.
much,
Thank
Egan.
you. Pleasure.